everyone, welcome back to the Faith Through the Fire podcast. I'm your host Kayla, and I'm so happy you're back. Today I have one of my very best friends, my ex-roommate, my bestie girl in the world, my very own Allison, Estes. How are you?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
Good, I'm doing good. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
How are we feeling? How are we doing?
Feeling pretty good this morning.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about being on your podcast, but I'm so happy and so proud of you.
Thank you. You're gonna crush it. I know you have a lot of words of wisdom.
Oh gosh.
Okay, just to break the ice a little before we jump into things, is there anything, do you have a core memory of us, anything that just like stands out in your mind as far as like memories? Oh no.
Okay, I'll go with this one. Last year we went to Kayla's lake house in Canada. And it was like a bunch of our friends, and we're like all sitting around this campfire at night, and it was dead silent the entire time. And me and Kayla, I kept looking at her like, are you gonna say something? It was just like so quiet. I don't know if we were all tired. And then we everyone else went to bed, and we just like laid on the dock and just died laughing for like so long. We were like, what just happened? Why did no one say anything?
Literally, yeah.
And yeah, it was just hilarious, and we just like couldn't stop laughing, and it was a good time.
It was a great time. That was so funny. I don't know how no one spoke for like over an hour.
You're just like.
But everyone, and I looked over and like people were nodding off in their chairs. I'm like, how are 20-year-olds sitting around a campfire literally falling asleep
I don't understand.
at 10 o'clock at night?
It's good.
It was a great time. The stars were also just like stunning that night.
I remember that.
Oh, that was so sweet. I love that. That was a great memory.
It's a good one.
We're actually headed back to the lake in a week, so I'm very excited.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be great. I think a core memory I have with you, when you were working night shift and we lived together, I remember one morning it was like 4:30 a.m. and you had to you were staying up the night before, and I couldn't sleep, and I just came and laid on your floor and we talked at 4:30 in the morning for 30 minutes, and I was just like, wow, this is the life. This is awesome.
Just the life we were living at
that
time.
It was great.
Crazy.
It was great. All right. Well, can you share with us just a little bit of your story, kind of how you came to the Lord, just like a shortened kind of version of it?
Got it. Yeah. I was raised in a Christian home. My dad worked for a missions organization, so he was a missionary. We moved to New Hampshire when I was 6. So I feel like I grew up in kind of a very church environment, and I felt a lot of pressure from other people to be a certain way because my dad was in missions, and I felt a pressure to be perfect and be a certain way. And so I think that also brought a lot of tension and resentment with my dad, and we had a really tense relationship when I was, especially in my teenage years, which was just really hard to grow up just not feeling like I was enough, or not feeling like I was up to standard. And then I went away to college, and I kind of had a moment where I just was I don't really know what I'm doing. So I went to college in Virginia. I came home. I was in this gap year from college, and I was I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I felt confused about my faith. During that year it was good though, because it brought a lot of healing to my dad and I's relationship, because I was home, which was amazing. But I also kind of walked away from the Lord in that time, and I was just so confused and didn't know what was going on. And just started dating this guy that wasn't good for me, and that also brought me further away from the Lord. And I just kind of got involved with people that weren't following the Lord, and I think that was the time where I was just felt truly empty, and just never felt I just felt so far from the Lord. And then my dad got diagnosed with cancer in I think it was February of 2023, and I remember right after I found out, he got diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, so it was really not looking good for him. And I remember just sitting outside my car in my apartment, and the Lord, I was just Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. I don't understand why you would do this to me. I don't understand why this is happening. I felt so empty. I felt so confused. I felt like so far from the Lord, and I just like cried out to him, and he told me, like, it was so clear. He just like spoke to me, and he said, like, you can either keep going the way that you're going, keep following the way of the world, keep living in this sinful way that you're living, or you can turn away from all this, leave everything behind, break up with that boy, and like come into the abundant life that I have for you. And that was just like the turning point for me, where I just, you know, left those things behind. It was a process, but just like came to the Lord and truly started following him for myself.
I love that. I love your story. When you like first made that decision, like when you were still with that boy and you were like, okay, I want to follow the Lord, what did that process look like of choosing to like leave him behind, like break up with him? Obviously, like you loved him at that point. Like, was that a hard thing to give up? Were you kind of just like ready to go all in for Jesus? Like, what did that journey look like?
Yeah, I feel like I met Kayla at the time when I like came to our young adults group, and that's where me and Kayla met, I think. Or
Yeah.
was it at church? Yeah, it was at young adults group. And I was really wrestling the Lord in that time. Like, I feel like I need to break up with this boy, but I feel so like connected to him, type of thing. And so it was such a process of just like wrestling with the Lord. I mean, like, also trying to like make things work with him and be like, I want to follow the Lord, like, can we do this together? And it just like didn't end up working out, which is nothing against him, like, or anything. I have nothing against him, but it was just such a wrestle with the Lord. It wasn't easy. And then when I just got to the point where it's like, I just felt the Lord being like, this isn't gonna work, you just have to let it go. And I did, and that was the best thing that I could have ever done.
I remember that time, and it was so sweet and like special to get to watch like the Lord just like see the active wrestle in your heart of just it all and everything, and just see how like beautifully God did work that out. Like, it was so cool to watch and see and be a part of, and I'm truly so happy I met you at the time that I did.
Yeah.
All right, so what has the journey been like of believing the Lord for, like, in faith, for healing for your dad, and what has kind of that looked like?
Yeah. I feel like that was like the hardest journey that the Lord has ever brought me on, because, you know, like, I lived with you, like, we were on our knees in prayer for my dad, like, all the time. I was on my knees daily for him.
Yeah.
Like, I begged the Lord to heal him, and he was diagnosed in February of 2023, and he passed away in October of 2024. So it was a very like quick decline, and watching my dad not get better and get worse when I was begging the Lord to heal him, and I saw my church come around him and literally like anoint him with oil, and people like coming to our house and like praying over him, and just all these people that we didn't even know just like praying for him, sending us cards saying we're praying for you, sending us encouragement. And just like, I remember just being on my knees daily for him and just saying, Lord, please heal him, but like, my will, your will, not my will, be done. And I don't think I truly understood what I was praying until after he passed away, because I was like, wait, though, that wasn't what I meant, you know? And so like, seeing something that you're waiting for the Lord for and you are praying for, just like absolutely like the door slammed in your face. Like, it wasn't like, oh wait, it was like, no, he's dead and he's not coming back. It was like a real eye-opener to my faith in the Lord, and really tested me about like where I really stood with the Lord. Like, what do I actually believe about God? What do I actually trust that he's good, even when he does things that shatter my life and my family's life, and things that I don't see are good but that he says are good. And I think that I wrestled that with the Lord a lot, and just like a couple verses that really we encourage each other with a lot. I love the verse, all the paths of the Lord are loving and faithful, which is Psalm 25:10. It's the first part of it. I've clung to that verse, and you've clung to that verse, of just like, I trust that this is God's plan for me because he says that this is loving and faithful. And even though I don't see that it's loving and faithful, like he says it is. And so I just have to trust that. In Psalm 23, I read this book. It's called The Lord of Psalm 23. I really recommend it. I read it during the time when I was really wrestling with the Lord with my dad. And it just talks about like all the parts of Psalm 23 and what they actually mean. And the part that really stuck with me is that part, surely the goodness and mercy of the Lord will follow me all the days of my life. And it just talked about how, like, in your life, even if you don't feel like there's goodness and there's mercy, like, it's always right behind you. Mm. Like, it's always right there. Like, the Lord is always right there. Like, just show you his goodness and his mercy. And the things that I don't see that are good for me, like, are good for me. Because through this, the Lord has brought me to such a place of brokenness before him that I've, like, been able to experience his love and his grace and his just, like, incredible kindness to me in a way that I wouldn't have experienced if he had survived. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I'm thankful for that.
Mm-hmm. The journey leading up to when he did pass away, there were moments where it looked like he was going to get better, and it looked like he was, like, the Lord was doing miracles. Mm-hmm. How did that stir your faith? But then when it kind of got worse after that, like, how did you wrestle that?
Yeah, there was a time actually when the doctors told us that he went into remission and that he was going to be okay. And we were like, I think we had a party or something. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure we had a party, and we were, like, so excited. And then, like, very soon after that, like, weeks after that, like, we just got, like, terrible news, like, that he was gonna only had so-and-so, I don't remember how long it was to live. It was just, like, it felt like whiplash.
It was, like, months. Like, it came, like, he went into remission and then came back that he had, like, a month or two to live.
Yeah.
Like, it was very...
Yeah. It was, like, very, like, jarring. Like, I just thought I had, like, that my dad was gonna see me get married, and my dad was gonna see his grandkids and all this stuff, and now it's, no, he's going to die. And that was crazy because it just I felt like almost like betrayed by the Lord. Like, Lord, how could you, like, let us experience this, like, joy and then just take it away? And I think that's something that I just wrestled with so much. And I still repeat this to myself now, but I just will be on my knees, and I feel like I'm still struggling with, like, a lot of things, but I'll just, like, say to the Lord, like, God, I trust that this is your plan for me. Like, I just repeat that to myself, because when things are so unstable, like, we have nothing else to rely on. Like, there's nothing else, like, that's stable except the Lord. So
you are seriously one of the strongest people I know. And have, like, it's been an honor to just, like, walk beside you in this and pray for you and watch you just, like, wrestle this and wrestle it with you. And the way you've handled it with so much, like, grace and just surrender deeper than I think anyone could ever understand has truly just made me be in awe of you, honestly, and just, like, your relationship with the Lord. And I think it is so kind of the Lord how, like, he did kind of, like, grab a hold of your heart before all of this did happen, because I don't know how people get through hard stuff.
I do not know. Like, the Lord knew the exact time. I, like, can't even imagine, like, walking through that without him. Or, like you're saying that those so kind things, but, like, you have been such a rock for me. Like, I can't express enough, like, if you're going through some type of grief, or not even just grief, just, like, something really difficult in your life that you feel alone. Like, don't try to do it alone, because, like, I could not. I think the Lord knew, like, we lived together for such a short time, but, like, we needed each other during that time. Like, that was, like, the Lord's, like, just such kindness for for me to live with someone who was, because I was living with people who weren't Christian before, which is, I love them, they're great people, but like living with someone who like loves the Lord and will just like hold you up, like you cry with me, you pray with me, like I'm just so thankful for that. I just love you.
I love you. You got engaged like right before your dad passed away. What was it like in one hand holding that like such great joy and like something you were so excited for, but also in the other hand holding this deep grief and loss? Like what did that look like?
Yeah. I was actually reading in my journal like a little bit like back so I could like remember like everything. I read this page about the joy and the intense sadness that I felt at the same time. And I am just like so thankful to the Lord that those feelings can coexist.
Yeah.
Because someone asked me one time, like, do you feel guilty for being happy in this time? And I was like,
what an interesting question
I know,
to
like,
ask someone.
Like, I didn't feel guilty for being happy because the Lord gave that gift to me.
Yeah.
Like my sister got married a month after my dad passed. Like she was also engaged, and like the Lord gave us those moments of just intense joy and intense sadness. Like we are able to experience those emotions at the same time, and that is such a gift. Because I remember at my sister's wedding, I was like bawling my eyes out with happiness, but also with just like sadness because my dad wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's such a crazy feeling to experience those things at the same time.
Yeah. And I think like it's easy to think you can only experience one,
right,
and like they can't coexist, but it is just so weird, like
right,
the two can coexist, and
right,
like actively walking in that.
Yeah. I feel like I just truly just went to the Lord with the way that I was feeling. I just like knelt before him and I said, God, my heart's broken right now, or I feel this way, or I think it's just so freeing and such a gift that we can just go before the Lord and just, he's our Father. Mm-hmm. He wants to know. Like he is so close to us. Like we can bring anything before him. He's not afraid, and he already knows. Like he already knows. We're
coming up on a year from when your dad passed away. What does life look like now in just the day-to-day moments of just existing with life after losing him?
Yeah. I think that grief is such like a interesting thing because everyone experiences it so differently. And I think that the months right after he passed, I felt extremely like numb and empty. And then a little bit after, like 6 months, it was like I started like truly understanding that he wasn't coming back and that he wasn't like accepting more. And now I think that there are moments that I just don't expect it to hit me, and then it just hits me, and I'm just like on the floor before the Lord and just like, what? Like I just miss him so much.
Yeah.
And there's just like so many moments like that in my life that aren't as consistent, but like just like moments where I just feel the ache in my heart for missing him, and I just have to like give that to the Lord and not run from it, which I think is like the hardest thing. Not feeling, I think I've also struggled with like feeling guilty for like talking about it to my husband over and over again. Like I'm still feeling this grief, like I still miss him so much, and I have really struggled with that, just like not pushing down that feeling and just really just bringing it to the Lord and showing him how I feel and that I'm still not okay and that I still feel this. And yeah, like I'm really thankful for like all the people around me and my family, just has been so close. But yeah, it's still hard, and I don't anticipate ever not thinking about him.
Yeah. With grief and stuff, it's like you have the funeral and everyone comes and shows up and it's amazing, and everyone's very supportive and maybe a meal train happens or whatever, but then, you know, people go back to their normal lives, as they should, but like, you still have that and you still carry that, and I think it's easy to forget as the person not walking through it that like you're gonna carry parts of that grief for the rest of your life, you know, and not be okay. And I think such an easy way for probably honestly the enemy to get in is just like with that guilt of like not wanting to talk about it and suppress it, because then when you start to suppress that, like what else, you know, like
right, it just comes out in a different way. And that happens and it's not good.
Are you 6 months married yet? No.
We're like
shoot
3 months.
Halfway to 6 months.
Almost.
How has the last 3 months of marriage been?
Wow, that's a loaded question. To be honest, it's been like I said, you can experience two things at the same time. Like, so beautiful and so amazing, but also extremely, extremely difficult. And I want to be so honest about that, because like marriage is really hard right now for us, and just like different things that we're struggling with and that we're wrestling together, and what it's like to bring two people together with completely different mindsets on life, and well, not mindsets on life, because we both like want to serve the Lord and love the Lord, but just like backgrounds, and bringing that together into one life. Like, we're in one life now, and that's been really exposing to my own sin and to how selfish a person I really am, but it's also been like so like forming, and I think that the Lord is just going to continue to, I pray that he just continues to help us.
I know you're like a little bit in the thick of it right now, so I don't know how much you can answer this question, but if anyone is like scared about getting married, and like I know it's really hard right now, but I also mentioned it like being also just so full of joy, like in this hard, what, like, would you still know if you knew it was going to be this hard? Would you still choose to get married? And I don't know if that's a fair question.
I would absolutely still choose to get married, because how beautiful that the Lord gives you a life partner, that you don't have to like struggle through life like alone. And not to say that people who are alone or aren't married are just like struggling or whatever, but like it's so beautiful to have someone by my side who's like a rock. Like Mike is a rock for me, and like have someone that I can trust. And it's hard to trust, but I think that the Lord's teaching me like just how much I struggle with control, and like I think he's really just showing me that right now. That is an active struggle that I'm sharing.
You heard it, folks.
You heard it here first. No, I feel like I've always known that, but like it's been harder with marriage. But I would just so say to someone who's like, should I get married? Yes, it's beautiful and it's amazing.
And I think life being single is hard. Like there's lots of things you wrestle and go through, and life being married is hard. Like choose your hard, you know. Like
it's so true.
At least you get to do it with someone, you know. Okay, what is something, or not even, you don't even have to say like specifics, but like you're in this time of life where some unexpected things are happening, coming up, whatever. What does it look like for you right now to just like believe the Lord and who he says he is, and have faith in like his character when your circumstances are not necessarily aligning, feeling like they look like they're aligning with that?
Yeah, I think that life right now is not what I would have picked for myself. I think that the Lord kind of said no to me, that I can't talk about fully right now, but just like he said no to something that I wanted. And you sent me a podcast that was really helpful the other day. Just like talked about how when the Lord brings you through a hard season, sometimes we feel entitled to an easy season after. And that really convicted me, because it's like, I had a hard season with my dad, and I was like, okay, Lord, I'm ready for my easy season of like newly married, newlywed, you know, like it's gonna be great. But that's not exactly how it's happened. And that he never promised an easy road. He literally, nowhere in his word does he say, life is gonna be easy with me. Like, it says, this is the narrow path, that it's gonna be hard. People, like I think about Job, struggled for so long before he saw his redemption. And I think that I just am struggling to trust right now that life is still hard, and it could be hard for a while, and I literally always repeat to myself, like, I trust that this is your plan for me, like, all the time, because that is what I cling to, that this is the path that the Lord laid out for me. This was his good plan for me. He promises good things to those who serve and follow him and love him. And whether I see it as good or not, it is good. Yeah. So that's what I trust.
That's so hard, and I love you so much for many reasons, but your honesty and just like your ability to just like confess so quickly and be so honest, and just like you even just being like, I'm really struggling to trust the Lord, like that I feel like just shows how deep your relationship with the Lord actually. I feel like many people would be so scared to like admit that, and be so scared to be like, I'm struggling so much to like trust the Lord, but I think that just shows how much of a strong foundation you have built, and you have wrestled with him in, to just get to the point where you can like sit here so confidently knowing who you are in Christ. And I'm sure that you still struggle with that sometimes, but like knowing who you are in Christ, being like, no, I'm like really struggling to trust him right now in this particular area, but like it's not shaking you, you know, like it's not shaking your faith in who you know the character of the Lord is, which I think is really beautiful, and like just shows the grace of the Lord, but also like the work you've put into the relationship too. And like I think it just goes to show how important it is like to build our foundation on the rock.
Something I tell people sometimes who are like maybe in an easier season, I would just say like, build your foundation on the Lord, because there will be hard times and there will be hard waves, and like that's like why I'm so thankful that the Lord brought me to himself before all those things started happening. And like so I would just say, like, if you're also like kind of in a season where you just feel like nothing's really going on for you, or you're feeling like whatever, like just like trust that there will be hard times and build that foundation in the Lord. Don't give up.
That's so good. For someone who is walking along someone else who's going through grief, or who just lost someone they love, like what did you need in those moments, and how can someone be like come alongside that person? Because obviously you like there's no words that are gonna make it better, so like even just practically, like what did you need?
I think that there's nothing you can say to make them feel better. There's no words. I think that the best thing for me was just people who weren't afraid to spend time with me because I was going through grief. Like, weren't afraid to just like sit in silence or cry with me, or just like go on a walk and not talk about stuff maybe. Just like, it's okay to like just spend time with them. Like, sometimes they can't express maybe what they need, but I think that something that I just really appreciated was just like people being with me, people coming over to my family's house for dinner, or just like hanging out with you on like a random night, just like talking, just like, it's just so helpful to have just someone just like with you, like a presence with you. And I've read some stuff about grief and whatever, but it also is like, cry with people. Like the Bible says, like, weep with those who weep. And I think that's so beautiful. Like, Jesus was weeping with Mary and Martha when their brother died. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid to just like be in the thick of it with them. Just cry with them, because that brings healing. Like, I truly believe that. And like, and you know, just I really appreciated too just people like shooting me a text just saying, I'm thinking about you, I'm praying for you right now, here's a Bible verse.
Yeah.
Stuff like that too. It's just like really kind. I loved that.
It is so easy, like just our human nature wants to like shrink back from that. I don't know, because like I think in those moments like you don't have the words to say, and you're like, am I just gonna sit, like, you know, like you feel like you want to fix it, and it's so unnatural to not try to fix it. And so like I think that is just so good of like just like be yourself, like go just be with them, like you don't have to talk about anything, you can, I don't know, like play a game or go for a walk or whatever, and it just like
just live life together.
Yeah, like
that's what you need. Yeah.
All right, so for the person who is like going through kind of that season you did with your dad, just like pleading with the Lord for healing, it not looking great, kind of knowing where this was going, but still maybe holding on to like a little bit of hope that God could do a miracle, like how would you encourage that person?
Yeah. I would just encourage them to just like not stop praying, like don't give up. I think that I wrestle with a lot, like, do I not have enough faith? Like, is that why he's not being healed? Like, I know that that's what some people believe, and I understand like why some people think that, but I personally don't believe that. I think that like just be on your knees in prayer, just like give it to the Lord, beg him, like cry with him, tell him how you feel, and trust that like whatever the outcome is that like that was his plan and that he's still good. Yeah, I would just say never give up, just keep praying, because the Bible says just pray continually. Yeah.
That's really good. All right, for the person who is kind of in a season you are in now, of like, I just got through a really hard season. I really thought my easy season should be now, but like I'm just getting hit again, and like I feel like I'm drowning a little bit. How would you, like, what do you have to say to encourage them?
Yeah, I'm not sure what advice I can give her at this point, but I would just say like what I'm doing right now is just like I mess up a lot, and I confess it to him a lot. And I would say just like not letting your sin or things that are hard stop you from going to him, or stop you from like sitting at his feet, and just like spending time just like listening to him and in his word, and just like not giving that up because of the way that you feel, and like not getting discouraged because of like the season that you're in, or feeling like rejected or betrayed by him. Like that he's still with you, and that he's still there, and that he will walk with you through this season as well. Like I trust that he's there with me, even though I just am like really struggling, and I trust that he will change me with the sin that I'm struggling with, and he'll change me, and he'll help my marriage. And so I feel like I'm preaching to myself, because that is like, well, it's what I'm really struggling with.
In like this current season, is there like a specific Bible verse or like book of the Bible that you're just like really clinging on to?
I would say I always go back to Psalm 23. I always go back to that. But I think that I'm reading through Romans right now, and just like remembering the gospel, just remembering how much Jesus has done for me, that he gave up his entire life, and we have the opportunity to give up our whole life for him. Yeah.
I think like you saying that brings up like a good point of just like, I think when we first give our lives to the Lord and we think about like laying down our life for him, we think of like the fishermen and the disciples in the Bible who like literally like, you know, left their nets, left their fish, and left them all and followed the Lord. And like that kind of looks sexier than I feel like it actually is. That like sounds so cool, and you know, for some people it does look like that, but I think for the average person like you and I, like the actual like giving up your life for the Lord are those no's from the Lord,
Mhm.
are those waits, are those
Mhm.
times where it's like Lord, like I can't even possibly imagine how this isn't your best for me.
Yeah.
And yet like I'm letting it all go, and I'm leaving it all behind, and I'm looking to you and following you, and like that is the least sexiest thing ever, you know, and like the hardest probably part of just like walking with the Lord, and like even in that, like God is so kind, and he truly, like I think we'll all look back and be like, yeah, God, like you knew what you were doing, and whether we don't see it till we get to heaven, like or not, even just like with your dad, like God did heal him, just not on this side of heaven, you know, and like not the way you wanted and we wanted, but you know, I don't know, like I think there's just some things where like we'll just never understand, and like letting go of even just the need to understand is like so crucial in just like letting it all go.
Yeah, that's so true.
Do you have any last words you want to say?
I don't know. I think just surrender is what I continually come back to, and continually ask the Lord to give me the heart of. It's just like, Lord, I just surrender my day to you today. Like, just like coming to him with open hands and just surrendering yourself, surrendering your sin, surrendering the way that you feel to him, and just like giving it all to him, because like that's how the Lord works in our lives, and that's how, he just shows us so much love when we do that.
That's so good. You're so wise.
Thank you for saying that. I don't know about that.
I love you so much.
I love you.
Thank you for being willing to do this. I know it's not completely in your comfort zone,
No.
but you crushed it. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for being willing. I love you so much, and I know that the Lord knows what he's doing in your life, and I know that he is going to come around, and like we are just going to look back and be like, yeah, we knew nothing, but God, like you did know. And so I'm excited to see that happen for you. But I love you so much. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming.
Anytime. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.